Hi, my name is Cavan with Unchained, and I'm one of the founders of Unchained. And today I thought it might be a good idea to do a video about using LogMatic to solve a real-world problem. And that problem is one that I was trying to solve yesterday, and that was to try to work out how many times LogMatic had been downloaded, and what types of, whether it's a Mac version, Windows version, or Linux version, had been downloaded. So what I found was our file servers have a Apache log file. Um, and just to be clear, what I've done here is I've took the Apache log file and I used Logmatic to basically redact the IP addresses. So these zeros here is I didn't want to be sharing people's IP addresses in the video. So when you open a file, a text file in Logmatic, you get the file viewer. This is not special. This is just this is not Word. It's not rich text editing like that. You're not trying to change the file. This is just to view the contents of the file. It's very simple, but what it does do is it allows you to view very large files. So if you've got 5, 10, gigabyte files, this guy can do it. And how we do that is we only load up a fraction of the file at any one time. Let's go to this overview here. And so this little grey bar here shows that we've only loaded that amount of the file at this point, and that red line there is what we're viewing at this point. And so if I scroll down, you can see that I'm scrolling within that buffer, and then as I get towards the end of the buffer, Logmatic goes away and reads the next part of the file into a buffer. If I scroll up, it goes back and reads a little bit more. And so by doing this, we don't use up that much memory. We're only ever using this much memory at a time, which means things are sped up and means we can handle these very big files. Files that Notepad or Vim or whatever text editor you use, they kind of struggle with very large files. This guy lets you at least get a feel for what they are. As I say, it's very simple, but it gives you some context. The real power of Logmatic really is this regex analysis feature. And so if I go and click on this, this opens up the regex analysis window, and that has two sides. On the left side here is where you place your regex searches and your manipulations, your mappings and your replacements of things. And on the right side is the results of those actions you're taking over here on the left. So let's have a look at this file here. So we store our downloads in a directory called LogMatic downloads. And what I'm doing here is I'm creating a little regex that is saying, take this, the information this root file says. This root file means this file here that we just opened in a file viewer. Take it and do this search against that file because it's right underneath that file. And once we make a change, we have to apply it to tell Logmatic that we're serious about the change. And now it's there. And we can right click and we say run that search. And Logmatic goes away and reads that file and does that search. And as you can see, it has gone away and worked out all the Logmatic downloads. Now, if we wrap this though, one thing that I noticed when I was working on this before is that we're seeing quite a few. Oh, there's one down there. This guy here, view it here, is saying mobile Safari. So that means is somebody has downloaded this desktop app. Logmatic is a desktop app for Windows, Mac, Linux. They've downloaded it onto their iPhone or onto their Android device. In this case, it looks like it was an Android device that it was being downloaded onto, I believe. I believe that's what that means. So I need to remove those. And so I can take the results that we just, I can take these results and I can say, well, let's add another search to refine it. And I can use something in regex, which is called a negative look ahead. And that's I say, go from the beginning of the line, which is this caret guy. That means go from the beginning of the line, search and ignore anything, do a negative look ahead that has any characters followed by the word mobile. Oops, if I can type, that would be good. There we go. I can apply that, and I can run it. And again, that's running this search against those results. So so we don't actually go. This guy here is now just running on stuff that's in memory. It's not running against the file, so we're saving time. It's nice and fast. So that's taken out the stuff that has the word mobile in it. But I noticed earlier when I was scanning through this stuff that some of the Android stuff is still in there. So we're just going to very quickly add in another layer of search that is going to say, okay, take those results and remove anything with, I need to put a dot star in there to say, remove anything that precedes Android. Any lines that have something followed by Android. And now we've got that. Okay, so now what we should in theory have at this point is all of the downloads that have been done that aren't from a mobile device. Now, unfortunately, this is this information here is not that easy to read. So what I really want to do is I want to kind of clean it up a bit, and so that's where the next kind of feature of LogMatic comes in. Is I can take those results and I can say, well, I want to pull out specific pieces of information. So let's use the regex designer. This is a feature of LogMatic that helps us create regex expressions. And let's go and take let's take this. We'll take the top line now. Let's copy to clipboard and go back to our analysis window. Sorry, regex design window. And what we can do is we can put that example text, that line of data that we want to process, we put it in this example area. And then we can start creating our regex down here. And as we type, it will come up and it gives us feedback as to whether or not we've made a mistake. So right now, if we put a parenthesis in there, it has been completed. So it tells us that. Now, so first of all, I want to pull out this IP address, and I can use regex to say, well, let's pull in any number. So this / d means a number, and this plus means it has to have at least one digit or many digits, and keep matching that until you hit a dot. And then we've got 4 numbers, so we're going to do that, 3 more times. And I've missed one. See, so this is telling me that if I use this regex right now, I get 521670. So I need to add in another guy there, and there we go. We've got a whole number there now. These little parentheses is what we call a capture group. So this is how regex describes something we want to extract from the line of text that we're dealing with. And so in this case, I'm extracting that IP address, and I've told it it's going to be 4 numbers with dots between them. So next thing is there's a space, which we can say match any space with 1 or more spaces. That's the backslash s means space, and the plus means 1 or more. And then we've got these little dashes, which that might be remote log username or remote log name. So we are just going to say, well, let's just match anything that comes after a space until it has another space. And so that's going to be this $2 guy. And we've got a second one of those. So we're going to say, let's match anything until we hit another space. There we go. This little question mark here means it's non-greedy. So the way regex expressions work is if you do that dot star, it will keep on trying to match until it finds the last one. So say there's say you had hello there, so that's just your line, and you wanted to match there. It would try to match this. It would automatically try to match the second there by default, because it's greedy. It keeps on greedily kind of slurp stuff in. By doing that question mark, we're saying be non-greedy. So stop when you find the first one. Don't get, we're basically clipping its wings and saying stop as soon as you find the first one. Now, so then we've got a date between square brackets. So we don't care about the square brackets, but we do care about a date. So let's pull that whole thing in using that same thing in. Okay, so then we've got the data. Now these dollar signs here are the numbers of the capture group. So this is going to be capture group 1, capture group 2, capture group 3, capture group 4. What do we have next? So we have a get. So we've got a space there, and this is a little tricky. This is a Mac kind of a Mac artifact thing. If I have to do those quotation marks, it can't match it because the character that Mac's using is a little different to the one that we got from Linux. And so what I could do is I could copy this guy from up here and paste him in there so it becomes the same character and it gets matched. But a little trick is to say, well, let's just do a dot. Dot just means match anything. So we know after a space is going to be this inverted comma. So let's commas. Let's just match it and move on. We don't care about get, so we're just saying we expect to get next, and we don't care about this LogMatic part. You know, we know where stuff's stored, so we can get rid of that. So there we go. So what we do care about is the file name at the end there. So this file name at the end here. So let's create a capture group and tell it to non-greedily grab that. Now, nothing's showing up in this 5 right now because it's saying, well, you know, there's more stuff after this. So if we go and it doesn't know where to end because it's non-greedy. So if we go and put in a space there, it goes, aha, got it. I've got to non-greedily match up until I see a space. We don't care about HTTP, so we are at that point we're just going to say .star again, and let's do that until we see a space. And what does that get us? So that gets us. Oh, let's not do that as a capture group. We're just going to throw that away. So that gets us to HTTP 2.0. So now, which has got us to here. We've got that space. Yeah, let's grab the response code. You never know. Maybe we want to see. Let's put a number in there. So we any numbers. Grab that next. That's going to be a $6. Then we've got the file size after a space. So yeah, grab that as well. I'm not sure if we need it, but we'll just grab it. And then we've got this next part, which is username thing here, which we don't care about. So we're going to ignore that. So let's we don't know it's going to be Mozilla. So let's spell this out for the grep. So we're going to have, again, we're going to use a dot for inverted commas. Then we're going to have something, and then another inverted comma, and then a space, and then an inverted comma. Then we want to capture the remaining stuff, the agent stuff. So we're just going to slurp in the rest. Actually, we could just get rid of the inverted comma by putting another dot there. And so now this is broken up that information in this regular expression has broken up that information into stuff we want to extract from those lines. So we can take this, we can copy it. I'm going to keep this designer here because we're going to need it in a second. And I can put that into an empty guy, apply it, run. Now, nothing really changed here because we just told it to go look at the search results here and then match them again. But now we've got all these little capture groups, we can do some fun things. So let's say we just want to see the IP address and then the date and the file. So what we can do is so the IP address is capture group 1. So let's go into replacements and say, well, let's replace that text, that line, with the IP address, the date, and the date's number 4 actually. So number 4, and the file name is going to be number 5. So then we come in here, apply that, run it, and now we've actually just taken that line of text and shown the stuff we want. And we can do some extra stuff in here. We can actually add our own stuff in here. And let's say we want to have the file first. So let's do $5 first, and we'll give it a little label and say that's the file. And then we've got the IP address, and then we've got the date. So this just doesn't make sense, I don't know. But we run that. Oops, and what's happened there? We put $1 in front of the date. So we need to remove that $, because that's not a capture group. Apply, run. And there we go. So now it's inserted our file. It's got the file at the front now. Got IP address, date. So that's pretty cool. Now but we can do more stuff. So that's applying placements. But say I wanted to highlight all of the places where, let's unwrap this a second, where the IP addresses begin with 103. So what I can do is I can go into this mappings thing, and I can say, well, take the first capture group, so that's the IP address, and if that, put a conditional in there, so if that equals, so if that string begins with 103 and has any number of characters after it, then we can add the next thing, which add a color change. So let's make it red. So it's going to take that mapping there, it's going to do an if on it, see if it's 103, and it's going to change its color. So we apply that and run. And so now we can see all the places that it's 103. So I can do other things, and I can say, well, okay, let's make them all green first. So let's make everything. Let's make all of those capture guys green. Oh, yeah, spring green, that'll work. And then after it's made them green, let's go and pick out the 103 ones. So let's go and now add back in our conditional. So beginning of line has 103 dot star. Oh, let's put a dot in there as well to make sure it's like 103 dot. And when you see that, let's make that guy red again. Apply, run, and there we go. So now we've got all these green guys. Now what's kind of cool about this is, so that helps me highlight stuff very quickly and I can take this and I can do things like show all lines in HTML view. And that keeps that formatting. And what's useful about that is if I go and cut and paste from this HTML view and put it into, say, a email, it keeps that colorization for me. That works with Google Mail. It works with various mail clients and stuff like that. If anything that takes in a HTML rich view of your email, it can do that. Let's just put this over here. We'll use that again later. You can do everything. You can copy everything to clipboard. So you can cut and paste stuff. You can go to the line in the file. Stuff like that. And there's another thing we can do with this though. So that's how to change how to operate on these capture groups. So what I can also do is I can add in a table. So I can go to this option and set a table operation. With all these operations, they have a little section that tells you how it works, what to fill in here. It's kind of like the help. And so it's telling me a table name. So we've got downloads, a table name. The column headers, so we're going to say we want to put the IP address in our table, the date in the table, we want to put in the file in our table, and we want to put in the agent in our table. And then in the column arguments, we need to put in the capture group numbers that are associated with those things. So that's going to be $1, and I think it's $4 is the date, $5, and $8. We can double check that through here. So IP, date, file, and then the agent. Go to OK, and then we apply that. Now we can run this, and it spits out a table. And we can scroll up and down for that information. It has basic sort capabilities at this point. We might improve that going forward in a later version. Oops. So there we go, sorted by date. And then we can see the contents of each one of the cells down here. So if you've got a big long cell, you can see it. Oh, look at that. We've got some robots in there. So we need to go and add some stuff to filter out robots. But we can see, we can now see that this is a Linux download. This is a Mac download. We should have some Windows downloads all set up. There's a Windows download. So now I've got a file. Now I've got a table. I can go and go to its menu, and I can say generate HTML, and that gives me a HTML representation of the table. Now the nice thing about this is now I can actually cut and paste this. I can go through here and copy that, and I can go back to my email, and I can drop a table into my email. So all of that quick search I did, I can actually share with people quite easily. I can even go to something like Excel. Let me pull up Excel over here. I can even go into Excel and paste in there, and it will automatically pull in all those columns and IP addresses and stuff like that. So I can do stuff in Excel. This also works with Google Sheets as well. So they accept HTML input, which is really cool. So now, and there's other things we can go in here as well. We can go to the file and we can save it as a separated file, or we can save the HTML so you could insert that into a, say, web page or something directly. Yeah, so that's in a future video we'll probably talk about some of these mappings in more detail. Okay, so that's been quite a lot of information for today. But the last thing I'd like to just highlight is that once you have all your searches set up and your mappings, you can go to the file menu of the regex analysis window, and you can save your search. So you can enter in the file name here, downloads. We save these in an XML file, and so if I go and close this guy down now and open up a new one, I can go and load up that search again. And let's see, LogMatic download today. I think that's the one. Yep. And now it's come back to me, so I just have to go to the top here, apply it, and run it. Or sorry, run it, not apply it. And there we go, it's all there again, including a table. So we can generate the table again, and we have all of this stuff that we can build on. I can even, if I wanted to have a couple of these guys open, I can have two of these windows, and I can load up one I did the other day, which I approached slightly differently. So this one, in this approach, I had I took out the mobile, took out the Android, and then I looked for the Windows, the actual download types first, and then I kind of pulled out the information from them. And so if I run that guy, I can recreate that stuff. So I can see, as you can see, I can see the Windows downloads and the Mac downloads and the Linux downloads, and there you go. And that's so. And the idea being is that next week I can fire up the log file again, and I don't have to do any of this work again. I just go and open up LogMatic. I open up the regex analysis window, load up my my search suite, and run it, and I get the results I want straight away. Right, so I hope this has been useful. It's we're just beginning to market this solution, productize it. So it would be really useful if you could give us some feedback as to whether this was a good video. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it the kind of content you're interested in? Is there anything you'd like to know more about? Is there a problem that you have that you're wondering if LogMatic can help you solve? All of these things would help us to help you get to benefit from our tool. So yeah, drop us a line. There's going to be some links and stuff and QR code on screen to how to get to our contact form. LogMatic at FUnchained.com is the email. We have a contact form on our website, and of course you can leave comments in the YouTube thing below. So thank you very much. Take care. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it, and maybe talk to you soon. Bye.